All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
What is up, everybody? Big Marley 3 from SHIPIT Nation here to break down the Week 7 NFL afternoon slate for you guys. I am a bit under the weather, so I apologize for my voice this week. But before I get into this short slate, I want to mention that we have a 10% discount available right now over at SHIPIT Nation with promo code NBA10. The NBA is starting up next week, and we are real excited to roll out our tools and projections for it. All sports are included for just $69 a month, and we have been crushing all sports. Now you can save 10% with that promo code NBA10. So come join the nation and get in on these big wins. Once you sign up, you will get access to this 4-hour educational video from our guys, Hoop and Tambo. They're two of the best in the industry, and they're giving away all their secrets in this 4-hour video. Hoop talks about winning the Millie Maker last year, and Tambo crushes qualifiers and live finals, so he talks about his strategies for those, along with a bunch of other great information to help you guys become better DFS players. They also just launched this 2-hour NBA course to learn from as well, so there is no better time to sign up. All sports for just one price, and NBA 10 saves you 10% every month. All right, let's jump into this 4-game slate. The first game listed is the Steelers at the Rams. The Rams are 3-point favorites in this one, and we have a 43.5-point game total, which is the lowest of the 4 games. I am mainly interested in the passing game on both sides of the ball. The Rams lost Kyren Williams last week, so I don't think that they will give a big workload to their running backs. But we do have Zach Evans at the minimum 4K price that I do have a little bit of interest in, really just if I have to, if it helps me afford these guys that I really want to pay up for. But Matthew Stafford, he is only 6,500 this week, and he has the best wide receiver on the slate in Cooper Kupp. He also has Puka Nacua, who will come at an ownership discount this week after having his first bad game of the season. I want at least one of those two stacked in all of my Stafford lineups. I'm also fine throwing in a Tutu Atwell at 4,300 and or a Tyler Higbee at 3,700. But every single Stafford lineup I make will have Kupp or Puka in there. And then the Steelers, they lost Pat Freiermuth to IR this week. So I would expect George Pickens and Deontay Johnson to be the main targets. And they're really the only two Steelers I plan on using. And if I have to go all the way down to 5K at quarterback, I'm fine stacking Pickett with both of those two and then running it back with a Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua. I do think that between the two, George Pickens would be the one with the higher ceiling, and then Deontay Johnson, as long as he's at full health, I would expect him to have the higher floor, just more of a PPR monster. The next earlier start is the Cardinals at the Seahawks. The Seahawks are 8.5-point favorites and have the second highest team total on the slate. Geno is a great paydown play at 6K, and there's lots of ways we could stack him up this week if DK Metcalf plays. If DK does play, then I want Geno stacked with him or Tyler Lockett in every lineup I create with Geno, if not both. And then they also have JSN at just 3,900 this week, and he's been getting more involved. He's seen 11 targets the last 2 weeks, and he's a guy that can help us pay up for the Kupps or Kelseys that we want to get into our lineups. They also have, they being the Seahawks, they also have the best running back on the slate, in my opinion, and Kenneth Walker at 7K. He's in a great spot as the clear lead back. His backup, Charbonnet, also has that Q tag there, so he could get even more of a workload this week. And then the only guy on the Cardinals I'm really interested in playing would be Marquise Brown at 5,300. He has had at least 10 targets in 4 of their 6 games this season. And then if I have to pay all the way down at tight end, I'm okay with a Trey McBride or a Zach Ertz over here if that helps me pay up for somebody I really want. The next game is our closest line game with the Packers heading to Denver as 1-point favorites in this 44.5 point total. I really don't want much Broncos exposure, but I am fine with Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton at wide receiver, especially in my Packers stacks or just in mini stacks with a Packers player or two. But I do prefer the Packers side of the ball. Jordan Love is coming off his worst game of the season, but he does have a solid bounce back spot here against the horrible Broncos defense. I like throwing him into stacks with at least two of Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and then Luke Musgrave at tight end. And they also have Aaron Jones possibly coming back this week at running back. And A.J. Dillon has really just looked bad this year. So I would expect Aaron Jones to get a lot of work if he does play. And I like stacking him up with the Packers DST. The last game is our highest total on the slate at 48, with the Chiefs being 5.5 point favorites at home. These are our expensive quarterbacks, but they are averaging over 20 points per game. Mahomes will be the more popular of the two in a great matchup, but Herbert is a solid pivot away that you can just make similar builds with at lower ownership. This game has two of the best running backs to play, and that is Austin Eckler at 8,600. He's basically a wide receiver out of the backfield, so I think he's fine for Herbert stacks if we can afford that. And then we also have Isaiah Pacheco in a great spot. He's only 6,100. So I think I probably do prefer him at cost. And I think he is great direct leverage away from the Mahomes chalk, and we could stack him up with the Chiefs defense if we want to. Travis Kelce is going to be the best tight end on this slate by a mile, and I want as much of him as I can afford, but I don't hate paying down in my cup lineups. And Gerald Everett is on the other side of the ball. He should be low owned. He's only 3,800. He caught his first touchdown on Monday night, so I don't mind throwing him in to these game stacks. And then there's lots of wide receivers in play in this game as well. Keenan Allen is the best one. He's averaging 11 targets per game. Josh Palmer is only 4,800, and he's the clear number 2 wide receiver on this Chargers offense, and he has had 22 targets the last 3 games. And then the last guy would be the rookie, Quentin Johnston, who burned a lot of people on Monday night. So I expect him to be low owned. He's only 3,800, and he's got big playability, and I would expect them to start getting him more involved because their season is pretty much on the line. And then the wide receiver room over on the Chiefs is a mess, but we do need to throw these guys into lineups just to make our Mahomes lineups a bit more contrarian. And they also help us afford Kelce if we want as well. Mine and the field's favorite target is going to be Rashee Rice at 4,700. He has 4 games this season with double-digit fantasy points, and he just looks like the best one on the field. The more contrarian options that I'm fine getting down to are Kadarius Toney, who has had 6 targets in each of the last 2 games. And then MVS has been horrible this year, but he's only 3,200, and he really just needs to catch one long pass to get it done at that price. But those are the players that I will be targeting on this afternoon slate. All of my plays and notes are posted over at SHIPITNation.com. Go sign up with promo code NBA10, and you'll save 10% every month. All sports are included for just one price. I will be back with a primetime slate breakdown, but if you guys can hit that like and subscribe button for us, it really helps out. Good luck on this afternoon slate. I hope to see some Ship It logos up top. Thanks for listening. Go ship something. We'll see you guys next time.